first one I made, I was like talking about nonsense, so this is like the fourth take. Oh my gosh. So anyways, here we go. Proverb of the day. Proverb 31, woman. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Genesis 50:20. Women who have had to live in an abusive relationship endure many difficult trials through no fault of their own. They should not hold themselves responsible for irrational actions of others. Spiteful actions, family turning against them, torment, and the love they once cherished, stripped away as they become more objective and yet can use these horrible situations to bring good and to save many others. Women in these positions understand their suffering and can pull others through their darkest hours. They've developed sensitivity and compassion which can be used to help others. Okay, I love that, okay? Because I will tell you something. I was in domestic violence situations a couple times, because usually when you're in a domestic violence relationship, it doesn't just happen once. It happens a couple times, and it usually stems from, and I hate to say this, childhood trauma, because maybe you grew up in a childhood situation where you had abusive situations, like you were emotionally abused or physically abused by, like, your parents maybe hit you or, like, emotionally abused you. Like, back in the day, like, you gotta be honest, like, our parents were the type that, like, hit us. Maybe not everybody, but, like, that's how they knew to punish us. Or, like, they said things that maybe they shouldn't have said. And it left scars on us. And, like, so now there's a lot of people who end up in these types of things because you recreate what you know. So that's what happens with people ending up in these situations. And my mom always says, well, you chose that person to date. You chose that person. And it's like, well, actually, I grew up in that situation, so I chose what I know. And so I learned that through, like, a lot of therapy and getting a lot of help for myself. And now I know that, like, I deserve better and I am worthy of more and I am, a good person and I'm not, like, a piece of shit, like, or, like, whatever, I heard as a child, so, I mean, I do love my parents and I know they did the best they could and I know that they were probably going through stress and they didn't mean it or whatever. And I listen to a lot of, like, Louise Hayes and I really love her, and that's a lot of, like, healing work too. If you just, like, listen to that while you're getting ready in the morning on YouTube, Louise Hayes is really good and she really she's really smart, and I actually, I don't know if it's right here. I was working on her workbook, and I did this a long time ago, and I'm doing it again. I bought it again. It's called Love Yourself, Heal Your Life, and that's, like, a really good workup book to work through, like, a lot of, like, stuff, so you don't, like, take it out on other people. You know how people sometimes just dump their stuff on other people? I don't like to do that. So it's better to, like, just, like, work out your stuff. I also journal. I got this journal. Oh my gosh, I had this credit on Amazon, so I got, like, all this stuff. So it's Jesus is everything to me, and it gives you journal prompts. And then I got this oh my gosh, so I don't really go on Facebook much, but I feel like they're trying to, like, lure people into Facebook because you can get, like, free stuff on Facebook now. I didn't know if you know that. So I got this, like, shiny package the other day, and everybody's like, what'd you get? And I'm like, I don't even know. So I opened it up, and it was this recipe book that I had signed up for, like, a long time ago, and it was, like, a free recipe book, and it was on Facebook. They're just like, you want a free recipe book? And I'm like, yeah. So I signed up for it, and they sent me this shiny package, and it was this, like, really good recipe book. It's just this little recipe book. It came with a pen, and it was all these, like, healthy recipes. It was really cool. And sorry, my friend just sent me a message. I'm like, what is that about? And it also totally got off topic. And it had, like, a little note section. I wrote, like, my Dollar Tree list for the note section. I don't think that's what you're supposed to write in the note section. And also, oh my gosh, I'm getting, like, all these messages. I'm sorry. And then also I was on Facebook and I was scrolling. Not that I even go on Facebook more. I barely even go on social media. And I usually go on Twitter. But, like, anyways, so I think they're trying to get people on Facebook more. Oh my gosh, my friend keeps messaging me. I'm like, oh, now I know what she's talking about. There was this wildflower thing, and it's like if you sign up It has like recipes and like a recipe of the day for 7 days, and it has like a free workout virtual video of like yoga or Pilates, and a meditation of the day, and a journal prompt, and a mood tracker, and like all this stuff. So I signed up for it. I loved it. I like promoted it for like, I don't even like, I'm not like a promoter or anything. Like, I'm not even working right now, but I just like promoted it on like Twitter and like Facebook and like Instagram, and the lady like welcomed me to the Wildflower community, and I told her what I did, so she gave me this huge discount if I wanted to join. So I did, of course, because it was like this huge discount, and I got like this app, and like I get these journal prompts, and I track my mood, and I have all these vegan recipes, and it helped me lose like so much weight between that and the Better Me app, and like doing this weight loss study with this university. And I also have a weight loss doctor who has me on weight loss medication. And I just want to go to say, I was always skinny my whole life. I only gained weight because like in 2018, a lot of people close to me died. Not that I'm like the Black Widow, but like my uncle who lived in Chicago died from diabetes. My close friend Katie died from a seizure. This guy that I dated like 2 years, or now it's like 4 years ago, but at the time it was 2 years ago. Because it was 2018, now it's 2 years later, so it's 4 years ago. He died from an overdose, so he was in another state, so I had nothing to do, you know, like, I'm not the Black Widow. And then this guy from my AA meeting killed himself, so it was like, it was very traumatic for me. I had to get on like Ativan and like all these anxiety medicines because it was just very traumatic for me. And just living in a building with like 1,000 people was like very traumatic for me. Like, that was very hard for me because like I'm used to living in like private residences with only like a few neighbors, and like it's very quiet, and it's like it's usually quiet here, but like sometimes it's loud, and like it just like triggers a lot of PTSD for me, like having all these people in this building, because like out of nowhere someone will just like, hey, what's up, and like I'm just like, oh my gosh, because like I'm in my own head like thinking, and I'm very like introverted, and like I'm like an introvert. I'm an omnivore actually, because sometimes I'm like outgoing, but I'm usually very introvert. Like I like to just keep to myself. Like sometimes I do stuff with my friends who don't live in this building, but ever since COVID, it's like I do talk to some people, and like I'm just very like to myself, like I don't know. So anyways, back to the subject. So I like what it said about how like when you go through an experience, you can be very helpful to people who go through the same experience. And that's what happened to me. Like I went through all these experiences. I used to be very stuck up, very snobby, very bitchy, because my parents did spoil me like a lot when I was a child. I was very spoiled. I mean, I went through a lot of stuff as a child, like because like I did get hit like as a child. I got hit a lot. But like I was very spoiled, like very spoiled. So I was a very big bitch in my early 20s, and I went through so much stuff in my mid 20s that it made me such a better person. And even in my 30s, I went through so much stuff. So like, and I'm like 38 now, so it's like, who knows what I'm gonna go through more. But like, I just have changed. My heart has changed. My mind has changed. Like I have changed so much, and like I understand people. I used to say things that were just like so mean, and like I was just such a bitch, and I was like so snotty, and like I can't believe, like I was just like so rude, and like I just thought everybody owed me everything, and like nobody owes you anything, you know what I mean? I was just like such a bitch, but like I'm like I'm actually like the nicest person. I'm the most generous person. Like I just would never like be mean to anybody, but like if I met myself now, who I was, I would not like myself. I'd probably smack myself across the face. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how I used to be. I was like the worst. That's my coat. I was like, oh my gosh, who is that? I was just the rudest, bitchiest person in the world when I was 23. When I remember myself, I actually can see myself when I was 23 in this apartment that I used to live in. It was called the Algonquin, and I was so bitchy. I was such a bitch. I just remember things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I hated myself back then. And God just said, I'm not going to let you be like that, because you have a destiny and you are going to change, little girl. So God definitely changed my heart and changed who I was, and just like he did a work in me, I'll tell you that. People must have been praying over me, because I am not the same person I was when I was in my early 20s. I am not at all. He did a work in me. So always pray over anybody who you know that needs a change in heart or a change in their life, because people can change. God can change people's hearts, and he definitely changed mine. He did a lot of work in me over the years, and I love God, and I'm just such a different person now. So I'm so happy, and God is good. God is good.